Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
It's coming down.
Episode number 6. Next episode, we're going to have to base it on Dustin Rhodes because he was number 7. And he quit the WWF for bullshit gimmicks like this. And you'll never forget the name.
What are you talking about?
Dustin Rhodes. Remember they signed him and he was 7 for a day?
Yeah, like Vince Russo had him out as a 7, but it ended up being like a shoot.
Yeah, it was a swerve shoot, and he just was Dustin Rhodes. No one knows what
I remember. Don't worry.
I remember. I don't know why we're talking about it.
Because this is episode 6, and next episode will be 7. So I was like 7. You know? My fault. My fault.
We got to acknowledge the best wrestler. But I'll the best version of Dustin Rhodes, but I'll get into it.
You go acknowledge the best wrestler, so we acknowledge him as Black Rain. Continue with the show.
Okay, man. All right.
Are we gonna do one for Ty Dillinger when we get up?
Yes.
To 10?
Oh my God, that is such a good idea. And you know what? We're gonna just listen to "Play It Loud" the entire time. It's gonna be beautiful.
That's not his gimmick no more.
I didn't ask. You make the rules, and we will break them. All right, man. 11/01/21, the week of some beautiful wrestling this week, including our Victory Road 2011 special, baby. We're going to be reviewing that right here. We also got Halloween Havoc, not WCW, NXT. Dynamite and Rampage we're going to quickly go over this week because we really want to focus this on Victory Road, Halloween Havoc, Todd's Wrestler of the Week, and the news of ROH. So we have all that coming up. We'll start like we always do. Todd, you were selected by Mr. 566 to give us not just a wrestler in a match, but in particular,
he got to be a black man, a nigga,
and nothing. Man, you couldn't wait till the 8-minute mark so YouTube would monetize this, man. Fuck it.
Listen,
fucking balls.
Listen, you said black, but you didn't say skin color, so I picked a Black Rain match.
Yo, my God.
I'm kidding. You were happy, man. This is coming out.
He likes Black Rain.
With that weird ass mouth.
Did you know he had a tag partner named Relic? And did you know that Relic is killer spelled backwards? Do you know that?
And he won't let you forget it.
Yeah, hold Mike to name it, sure you would never forget it. Okay, so I picked a black wrestler, the skin color black, and also he is involved in my match of the week. I picked the Almighty. He breathes money, tastes like money, feels like money. I forget what Leo Rush would always say when he would come out. Then, show me your favorite pose, Bobby.
Bends over, spreads ass cheeks.
Yo.
That's what he did. That's what he's talking about. He's talking about the almighty Bobby Lashley.
Yeah,
talking about something whole.
Yes, Bobby would literally spread his ass cheeks on Raw and point at his ass.
Yeah, and Leo Rush would say, show me your favorite pose, Bobby. That's what he would do.
Lashley.
Listen, Bobby Lashley and he has been an important staple in my life. Now, when I was really, really, really into wrestling with my other friends and shit, we would be watching ECW. We were that far deep in. And Bobby Lashley, no lie, was one of the coolest dudes that ever existed. This man would there's this one match in ECW. This is in my match of the week where he was facing Hardcore Holly in a steel cage match. He ended up winning, and then Umaga's outside of this cage, and you know what this man does? He just jumps through the cage and hits Umaga, man. One of the coolest things that he's ever done.
That shit, speaking of, I got Do-Rag Vince in my picture this week, and I got that awesome ECW stage. I love that stage. That stage is great.
Bobby Lashley, growing up, was the coolest dude in all of WWE. And my match of the week includes him where young Todd was thinking oh, he's gonna win the WWE title, not knowing that was gonna happen oh God, freaking
15 years later.
After. Yeah, 15 years later. This is Great American Bash 2007 against John Cena.
The first ever Super FU.
Yeah,
that I remember.
This was Bobby Lashley's, I would say, like his best match before that whole TNA, like later part of TNA 2014 run. The part where like, oh damn, Bobby Lashley is a future star of this company, and then like he just randomly left and went
Beat
to
people's heads
TNA
in.
for a
Yeah.
bit, but then he went to MMA, but then he came back to TNA and he ended up becoming a big deal. Went back to WWE, was still a big deal. Won the title. I never thought that Bobby Lashley would win the WWE title when he was in TNA. I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't think that was a possibility, but he won that, nominated.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah,
No,
Nice
bring
pun.
back his whole theme.
no, it's not
There's a
coming
storm
back.
in the
Bring
distance.
back,
You
just
better
bring back
take
his
cover
theme.
now.
Bring back the theme when he returned. I don't know what that new one is. It's the big
It's
dookie.
better
It's
than
all
the
I know.
one that you're talking about. Like I don't even
No, it's not.
remember. I don't even remember.
I think that was the one that was like down, 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 and then Elias was like, "Huh?" and the crowd was like,
When-
"Ah!"
When he came back, man, and he didn't come out to "God Will Be Calling Your Name," man, I threw my hat on the ground, man.
You the
I was
same nigga that you the same nigga that want Adam Cole to return to.
You know it's all about the boobs.
Hey, man, that grew on me, so it's fair.
It's all about the boobs.
You want Adam Cole to return to the Ring of Honor thing when they don't have the rights. You sick man.
Yeah.
Man,
But yeah, don't. That's my wrestler of the week, and that's my match of the week.
at
John Cena versus Bobby Lashley, Great American Bash 2007. Do not watch the rest of the pay-per-view. I'll be honest with you. The Great American Bash in general, like WWE sense,
it's never good, man.
it's almost never good.
In the WCW sense, it's one of the. I think it's like 1990 or maybe 91. One of those two is like regarded as one of the best pay-per-views ever.
Like,
WWE sense, oh.
Dude, they had the Great Khali out there versus Batista and Kane. You don't need to watch the rest of this.
They like that's the same, not the same year, but Undertaker beats the Dudleys in a handicap match to like save Paul Bear's life, and then
Oh,
he
yeah.
still kills Paul Bear. What sense did that never made sense to me as a kid?
That was
Forgot
like
about that.
that was like 2004. See, Great American Bash, I hated it as a kid, not only because it was bad, but because like the big babyface champion would always lose. Like Eddie Guerrero lost his title in 2004 at Great American Bash. Rey Mysterio lost his at like Great American Bash 2006 when Chavo cracked his skull
Oh,
with the
God.
top with the chair.
Jealous. Chavo jealous. He wasn't a draw with the fans. They weren't buying his shirts, man.
You're not even a Guerrero, Ray.
Sickening, bro. But when I was a kid, though, I thought Bobby was fucking. I remember his first match against Simon Dean. I love Bobby ever since that moment. Soft spoken, hard hitting, Bobby Lashley.
It's not too late to bring the theme back.
It's
You
not.
can even bring back the instrumental version if you want to.
John Morrison brought back his theme. No problem. There's no problem with John Morrison bringing his theme back. Why couldn't anybody else? Get it together. Do what the people want. Makes me sick.
I mean, like they're kind of stuck with his current theme now. I don't mind it honestly.
I tune out themes anymore because I really don't know who's coming out anyway half the time.
We're gonna be cooked at the Royal Rumble, man. Like, half of the people coming out, we're not even gonna know what their themes
A
are.
generic theme with trumpets and sirens in it. It's bad.
I really literally have no idea anymore who's coming out. I couldn't tell you half the time. Could not tell you. Like NXT, like there's a couple people's theme I know, like, and then that's it really.
No one will survive.
That and there's like Braun Breaker's like, and that's like, just it's at the beginning, so it's not it's hard to miss. Speaking of Braun Breaker, Halloween Havoc, NXT 2.0 Halloween Havoc happened. It was a pretty good show. Started it off with Chucky, which just brought me back to WCW, and WCW had Chucky out there cutting promos on Rick Steiner, which is really ironic considering Braun Breaker main evented this, and he's Rick Steiner's son. But Chucky's like hyping up the match card throughout the show. Talks about he's a big fan of Tommaso Ciampa because his theme song says "No one will survive," and Chucky says that's his motto.
Yo. Yo.
Papa, bro, man, I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Don't disrespect the NXT Hall of Famer. All right, that's very rude of you.
Bored,
When
bruh.
am I gonna start that NXT Hall of Fame?
That
It's
would
only
be,
a matter of time. It's only a matter of time.
they would be
Lots
in
of stuff,
shambles.
bro.
Who you gonna put Bo Dallas in there? You gonna put Neville? Like you gotta put
The
all
day
these
they
dudes.
start putting NXT champions in the Hall of Fame is when the product is truly cooked.
Just make it its own company, man. Make it its own company.
It's a third brand. What do you mean?
Ain't third brand no more.
It's a third brand. There's no such thing as a call up. All right. Speaking of calling up, this has nothing to do with calling up. It's just a segue. The first match we have is a Stairway to Hell ladder match, which is just a normal ladder match, but it's called a Scareway to Hell because spooky. Blah, 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 blah. For the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships, we got Toxic Attractions, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. We got Indy Hartwell and Persia Parada, and Io Shirai and Zoe Stark, the champs. One thing that I think sticks to all of our minds in this match, Io Shirai damn near fucking died.
You guys remember like a few years back, like Jeff Hardy when he was in Impact, like he had this he fell off a cage and landed right on like a steel step.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
that bump reminded me of that one. Like you heard a large thud.
That and the Samoa Joe dropkick to Sting where he falls on the steps.
Yeah.
Brutal.
It never was the same after that.
No. So we have a winner, new NXT Tag Team Champions, Toxic Attraction, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane win that. It was a really good opening match. Like I said, Io Shirai, nasty bump, sick bump. Throughout this entire show, there's a couple bumps, but we'll get into those when we get into those that are absolutely brutal. Fucking terrible. Throughout the entire show, there's going to be haunted house segments with Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. They're trying to get the North American Championship back. Last week, Gargano and Loomis stole it. I told them if they wanted it, they have to go to the haunted house to get it back. And then, obviously, Hayes and Williams pull up. Trick tells Hayes he wants to stay in the car while Hayes goes in, but Carmelo doesn't want to hear, or Trick doesn't want to hear any of that. And then we can see creepily Gargano and Loomis watching them on the monitor, saying they home alone the haunted house with some help from a zombie referee. So they put out all the Halloween stops for this show, even zombie referees. Just like, what was that pay-per-view, Todd, where they had
nigga, that was Money in the Bank, sir.
they had the zombies just come out.
When that was in front of a live crowd. That was,
yeah, freaking Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
Was it Extreme? No, I went Extreme Rules.
I think
Who
it was
for Money in the Bank.
Freaking Hell in a Cell.
It was Hell in a Cell, there. Had to be.
The Army of the Dead.
The Miz getting eaten by zombies is great. You love to see that type of this is the type of show this was. So they think that they see Gargano, but it's a zombie kid who points them to continue walking. They literally go through a haunted house this entire show, and it's just crazy segments.
See, a lot of it was kind of like filler and stuff like that. Hey man, Andre Chase kind of growing on me. This man is such a goof.
He's a fucking goof. Speaking of goofs, they cut to the ring finally after the match where Grayson Waller is dressed as Dracula because LA Knight was, quote, running late. So Grayson Waller decides he's going to be the host. He gets interrupted by Joe Gacy, who comes out and says that mine's like Waller's is why Halloween isn't an inclusive holiday. Just an excuse to exploit and sexualize all people. Really fucking weird promo because, he's Joe Gacy and that's what Joe Gacy does.
Olive Garden, Kevin Owens.
And then he's gonna have a match with Malik Blade. You see Malik Blade come out, he's getting his ass beat, man. Elite jobber. He drop kicks Gacy when he enters the ring, and then the match gets started. Harlan comes out of nowhere and just murders Malik Blade. He grabs him by the throat. Gacy's pleading to let him go. Harlan does and sits him back down, and then Joe Gacy beats him. He's shown after the match holding Harlan's face and telling him he can trust him. And now they've developed this team. Weird fucking team. Absolutely weird fucking team. I don't really know what to think of Joe Gacy anymore. He's still on the nose.
Keep him off my screen.
Listen, they could have done something, I say it every week, man. They could have done something with, but at this point, he's just cutting the same promo every other week of saying oh, this is a safe space, inclusivity, buzzword. Insider term.
They wouldn't get it, man. They wouldn't fucking
I
get
get
it.
tired of seeing Dan Lambert on my screen. I get tired of seeing Joe Gacy on my screen. Olive Garden Kevin Owens.
We have a vignette of Kaylee Ray talking about she's the longest reigning NXT UK champion, got nothing from NXT 2.0, and now she's back.
Nobody
she's making
cared
everybody
about
pay.
that title reign either. That's the crazy part. I feel
Well,
bad
that's because of
for her.
NXT UK, no one watches it. We go now backstage where there's a Halloween party going on. There's several people back there. Grayson Waller's back there approaching people. He goes up to these two women, but is interrupted by Cameron Grimes, baby, who's dressed like an astronaut. Grimes hits on the women that are there with the awful pickup lines, and they just walk away, and Waller tells them better luck next time. Poor Cameron. Will he ever get a girlfriend? He's on the prowl, man.
No hoes, Cameron.
No, you got all that money, but no hoes, man. You really
looking like me.
No booty. Yeah, man. Anyway, back to the ring. You know, they got the Diamond Mine coming out with Malcolm Bivens. He says the open
Real
challenge.
wrestlers.
Yes, open challenge against any member of the Diamond Mine. Doesn't matter who it is. Out to accept an open challenge for Roderick Strong's cruiserweight titles, Odyssey Jones, who is not a cruiserweight.
I don't know. I'm about to say that is not a cruiserweight.
But
no, Malcolm Bivens said, like, I know your ass. I don't know your ass ain't coming out here for the cruiserweight title because you ain't no cruiserweight.
So it's a non-title match, and with the distraction of the Creed brothers, Roderick Strong beats Odyssey Jones. Yeah, it wasn't a bad match. It was fine. Then we have the spin the wheel, make the deal match for the NXT Women's Championship. Mandy Rose makes her way to the ring. We go to commercial, come back to the Halloween party. A lot's happening. We see Lash Legend telling Tony D'Angelo that he can be on her show. Grimes tells Duke Hudson, who's dressed as Hugh Hefner, he'll see him in the Duke's poker room next week for a game of poker. Zion Quinn chokeslams Robert Stone, who's dressed as Elvis through a table. And we cut to a video of someone riding a motorcycle to the arena. And it's Jose's favorite, NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez.
Oh, fucking
What about,
Christ.
bro?
Jose popped hard for that. I remember. He was jumping up and down. She makes her way to the wheel where a video of Chucky appears telling her it's time to spin the wheel. Gonzalez spins the wheel and it lands on Chucky's choice. God, I love this. Chucky appears on the screen again and tells everybody the match is now a trick or street fight match. So the street fight match for the title is now underway. The match goes on. It's pretty violent, pretty good street fight match. At the end of the match, a hooded figure hits the ring, attacks Raquel Gonzalez with a shovel, and Mandy Rose takes advantage. Rose hits her with running knees and pins her to become the new NXT Women's Champion.
Her beat trigger better than Kenny Omega's, by the way.
All right, Ryan Satin.
I was just playing, bro. I just seen it online. I was just playing, bro.
So, as I pointed out last week, all of Toxic Attraction hold the gold. So that means they are better than Undisputed Era, Todd. They're way better.
Why did he drop that tweet, bro?
The hooded person is the person that's had the vignettes, and we guessed exactly who it was because it was Dakota Kai standing over Gonzalez with her shovel. Very symbolic. Very symbolic. So we go back.
Bury herself whenever she enters the main roster.
We go back to the haunted house segments with Carmelo and Trick. They're making their way through the haunted house. As Trick says, "I think somebody's chasing us," and and then you just hear, "Did somebody say Andre Chase?" As Andre Chase is sitting in a chair with and then a cut of lightning happens. I don't know what the hell that is. Chase explains to them that he's brought to his class on a field trip and can't find his students. They ask Chase to lead the way, and he does. They find the belt, finally. Before Hayes grabs it, Trick Williams warns him and says, "You see in the movies, it's never this easy." Carmelo ignores that. He says, "Fuck all that." Picks up the belt, putting it on his shoulder, and then right behind them is Gargano and Loomis, and they beat him up. Hayes and Williams manage to escape the punches, and then they're surrounded by zombies. They fight off the zombies, and then Gargano and Loomis appear. And there are some dramatic cuts around them, and then Gargano says, "Boo." And they run away screaming as the segment ends with Gargano telling Loomis that his house is weird and he's hosting it next year. And then the next segment, we go to the ring. Grayson Waller comes out, still dressed as Dracula. The actual host of the show, LA Knight, who's also dressed as Dracula, comes out. Knight insults Waller's hosting, while Waller says it's not his fault. Knight had car problems. LA Knight, I believe, won a match to be the host also, by the way. Asks how he knew he had car problems. And they start arguing, and out comes the debuting Solo Sikoa. Or Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, same thing. A lot of hype behind him. Crowd was very hyped to see him. They were chanting Oos. I could hear some people oosing. Knight pushes Waller into him, and then Sikoa beats him up. The crowd chants Uso as this is happening.
It's kind of going to be a bit awkward because, like, everybody basically knows that he's an Uso, but they can't acknowledge the fact that he's an Uso.
Just make him a Uso.
And then he stares down LA Knight before leaving the ring. Up next is the last spin the wheel make the deal match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Imperium and MSK going at it. Come back from commercial. Chucky has appeared on the screen after the wheel is shown. The fan of the night, Samantha Irvin, gets and a boy spin the wheel, which lands on a lumberjack-o-lantern stipulation. The worst possible stipulation they could have fucking gotten was a lumberjack match.
Lumberjack matches are terrible.
Locker room comes out. For the match.
I've only seen one good lumberjack match in my entire life, and
I couldn't even think of one.
That was with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, like at that SummerSlam, like a few years back.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was the only lumberjack match where, like, wow, this is really entertaining with all the lumberjacks in this.
So this is like match of the night to me so far. This match is really
that reminds me, Randy. I forgot to pick like who's match of the week next week.
Oh.
Our next recording session. All right. Jose, find a good lumberjack match.
Oh my god.
How dare you? What?
I don't care about the wrestler of the week. Find a good lumberjack
What
match.
is this turned into, bro?
Yep, you ain't gotta find a wrestler.
You know what, Jose? This is all your fault. You had to make a special stipulation. I had to pick a woman. No.
You know what? You got
Find a lumberjack match, bud.
That is brutal. But so the Imperium wins with the Imperium Bomb on Wes Lee to become the new NXT Tag Team Champions. But there's a spot in this match where Nash Carter jumps on all the lumberjacks, and no one fucking catches the guy. He falls back first onto the ground, man.
Matt Riddle was on Twitter saying he should be beat by 6. I agree.
I agree with Matt Riddle, 100%.
PTSD from Ray Phoenix last year doing the move.
Kip Sabian just watched. Kip Sabian literally watched Ray Phoenix. He said, "Damn, that's crazy." And just let him fall.
Nobody catches the high flyers no more, man.
Sick,
wow.
Bro. We finally get to the main event, the NXT title match between Tommaso Ciampa and Braun Breaker.
You said Tommaso Ciampa?
Yo. Breaker comes out to the ring first as Chucky appears on the screen after his entrance. He tells Braun that he hopes being a loser doesn't run in the family, referring to Chucky's appearance with Rick Steiner on that episode of Nitro.
That's rude.
Beautiful. After that comes out the champ with Goldie. Ciampa's dressed as Kratos because he's the god of NXT. So he dresses up as Kratos. That's what it is, bro. It's Goldie.
All right, man.
Very good match. It was Braun Breaker's true test to see if he could hang. He had a pretty good match. He gets bust open in the match. He also has a bad spot where he has a spot where he slips and falls, but it doesn't take away from the match. I'm not gonna make fun of him for slipping and falling because I know damn well I can't get in there and do that shit. So I'm
nigga like me going perfect.
But Ciampa hits. It takes 2 fairy tale endings, and he pins Braun Breaker to retain Goldie to end the show. I thought Braun Breaker lost in a good way. I thought he was still protected when he lost. That doesn't happen a whole lot anymore.
At least they didn't do the whole, like, oh, I'm going to hold you to submission. You're going to pass out and you look strong. Because, like, they do it so often nowadays that, like, I no longer think of it as, like, oh, they look strong. I'm like, oh, that's just, like, they don't tap out anymore.
Yeah. So I thought it was different. Finally, he took a lot of punishment and he still looked really good. Can't be too mad about it. I thought it was a good show. Happy for Braun Breaker getting the match. I wonder who's going to be next. Who's going to try to take Goldie next from the god of NXT?
Johnny Gargano and him had a stare down.
Anyway, we're going to move on to Dynamite from 1027.
Yeah, you don't want that, do you? You don't want
Dynamite's back on Wednesdays live from Boston. We open the show with CM Punk going up against Bobby Fish. CM Punk's Dynamite debut. He hits a GTS in which what no one saw coming. CM Punk beats Bobby Fish. The next match, MJF squashes Bryce Donovan. Why is he wrestling Bryce Donovan? I don't know.
Who the fuck is Bryce?
Exactly.
Shout out to Bryce Donovan. Shout out Bryce Donovan.
And then MJF does what he's been doing every week. He buries Boston, calls it a shithole, says he'd rather shove his junk in a blender than go anywhere near the disgusting fat women in the city. And then he mocks the Boston accent. Shad says he's personally enjoying this. He talks about Darby and that Darby's too scared to show up. Sting's theme hits. He doesn't come out. MJF laughing. Then lights go out. Black and white video plays on the screen of a guy in a paper mask with MJF. It showed a Darby Allin concert. Why is Darby Allin having a concert? And he's put through a table by Darby. Text pop-up says next time to break you. Now time to break you physically, which is very Sting-ish, especially in WWE. But he did it in WCW too, where he has the Titantrons with the text on the screen. Lights come back on. Sting beating Wardlow and Spears with his bat. MJF tries to run, and a disguised fan comes up behind him. And that fan is Darby Allin.
Wowzers.
It hits him. MJF runs to the stage, and then Wardlow and Spears just get their beatings as MJF watches. Really fucked up. That man didn't even try to go help his homies. He don't give a fuck about them at all. Not even.
Man, he be treating them niggas like shit. Do you blame him?
TNT title match up next. Sammy Guevara and Ego, me and my ego. All ego, Ethan Page.
Hey, before
It's
you
not
read the
confidence,
results,
it's all ego.
before you read the results, I forgot Sammy Guevara was the TNT champion.
We all did.
Give it back to Miro.
Jose didn't.
Well, that's Houston's finest. Of course, Jose didn't. It's Houston's finest for him.
I don't claim it, but go on.
He defends it successfully against Ethan Page. It was a pretty good match. As the stipulation was last week, Inner Circle gets to pick their 5 opponents of any members of American Top Team for full gear. Jericho says he'll announce who they are next week, and the match is now a Minneapolis street fight because you put the city that you're in front of it and make it a street fight. And it's good shit, brother.
Philadelphia street fight.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Minneapolis, all them
You
good
know.
shits.
The streets are happening in Minneapolis, you know.
Oh, my God.
Nobody has the balls to do an Indiana street fight match.
Why would they?
You can't do them in Florida because they're not sanctioned. The Florida Athletic Committee doesn't condone those kind of things.
Oh yeah, non-sanctioned match. It's just a regular match. It's not sanctioned.
When AEW comes to Birmingham, Alabama, they call it the Birmingham not the
Nigga, they not coming through this crowd. Somebody will rob one of them niggas.
Oh, my God. The Birmingham Brawl fight. Anyway, up next, we got the first round match of the TBS Women's Championship as Hikaru Shida defeats Serena Deeb. Shida will now face Nyla Rose in the next round. After the match, Deeb beats up on Shida's knee, and eventually the officials break it up. We have a first round of the
These officials just allow people to get their
they're
asses beat,
shameless.
man.
They're shameless. They're so shameless.
I mean, well, at least with WWE, like you have like multiple officials come out there saying like, "Oh, come on, bro!" They try to hold them back.
You're like one ref, like, "Hey, come on."
Yo.
Don't nobody fear refs
AEW
anymore.
referees was kind of just like me watching, like, "Oh, damn, it's crazy."
Remember when the WWE refs went on strike, man? Because they were getting beat up
Hey,
every week.
Forgot about that, man.
Oh my God. Then we have the first round of the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament. We got Moxley taking on Dark Order's 10, and what no one saw coming, John Moxley pins 10 to advance. Rips that man's mask up and bites his face too. Very heelish from Mr. Mox. And then we have the main event here. It's the Dark Order's Stu Grayson, Evil Uno, John Silver, and Colt Cabana take on Kenny Omega and the Super Clique. Omega, Cole, and the Young Bucks are dressed as the Ghostbusters with Brandon Cutler dressed as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I did quotations for that. They came out to a special theme, and it was just pretty much the Ghostbusters song, but it said, "I ain't afraid of no budge." The Dark Order comes out in different costumes. Evil Uno is a cowboy. Stu Grayson's Kratos, because anyone that's bald with a beard this week says, "I'm going to be Kratos."
Yep.
Colt Cabana as Brandon Cutler.
On to Brandon Cutler. massive Brandon Cutler. Bro.
So big, bro. And John Silver was Bambi.
I still don't get it.
Oh, I don't know, man. The Elite beat down the Dark Order. They also do the shell spot from the Ninja Turtles. They do the shell shock with the backpacks on. They finally did it. It was beautiful. Let's see. We also have the the Dark Order basically is getting beat up this match. One of the horses heads that showed up with the Dark Order only for the entrance runs out, but the Elite don't buy it. As they try to help them, they hit the BT trigger on them. They take the mask off and realize it's a duct taped Brandon Cutler under the mask. And then they slowly build up the Staple Marshmallow standing in the ring. The Staple Marshmallow comes with the Nick Jackson sitting behind him, rips his mask off to reveal it's Hangman Page to a massive fucking pop.
One of the best.
Yes, it was so good. He hits the dead eye, and then John Silver hits the spin doctor, which is a great move, and pins Matt Jackson. The Dark Order beat the Elite. What a match.
Yes, sir.
What about John Silver getting the dub?
Yes, sir.
I ain't afraid of no budge.
Johnny Hungay.
Johnny Hungry, there he is. I don't know his real fucking name, but I'm pretty sure it's Johnny Hungry.
I mean, they're just kind of going with it now. They're just calling him Johnny Hungry.
Yeah,
They're not
man,
even
he don't even
John
care.
Silver no more. They no shame.
We're gonna
that nigga messing up.
we're gonna quickly go over Rampage here. We have a AEW title eliminator tournament match: Eddie Kingston and Bryan Danielson. As if this was a shock to anyone, Bryan Danielson wins the match.
Hey, hold on.
Banger.
The match was great though.
Yes, the match was very good. Eddie Kingston went out there and just they beat the fuck out of each other. Honestly, they really did.
They fought like they hated each other.
Yes, it was.
Bryan Danielson will not be satisfied until his chest is fully caved in.
That man's chest was red as fuck. My man looked like my man looked like a medium rare steak, bro.
The nigga was starving. He said I couldn't do this in the Fed. He said Vince ain't here to hold me back no more. I can wild out.
Using the vegan herbs,
and
spices to get
My man is he's literally Captain Planet.
And he comes back brand new, and then just for him to get fucked up at the end of the match, and then he just comes back, and it's just a cycle.
Yep, doesn't even matter. Just the most brutal match. All the hits to the head and chest that he can take in a single match, he's gonna do it. He doesn't care. And Eddie Kingston's just gonna. Eddie Kingston just closes his eyes, puts his arms out all the way, extends them, opens his hands, and just swings his arms as much as he can, and just slaps the fuck out of people. That's Eddie Kingston in a nutshell in a wrestling ring, and it's great.
I fuck with Eddie Kingston. Shout out Eddie Kingston.
It was a very good match. And then we have Dante Martin and Matt Sydal. Matt Sydal made Dante Martin look really fucking good when Dante Martin beats him. Matt Sydal seems to have a trend where he just bright young high flyers. He just makes like $1 million. He's done it throughout his entire career, despite him being one at one point. It was a good match. Dante looks good. Don't know what they're gonna do when Darius comes back, but that's for a later time. It's for a later time. Main event is a trick or treat no DQ match, non-title for the AEW Women's Championship. Britt Baker and Abaddon, because of course it's Abaddon and it's Halloween.
I feel like this is the first time Abaddon has been on TV.
I feel like people probably have no idea who she is. If she wins, she'll get a future shot at the women's title, but with the help of Jamie Hayter and Reba.
Shout out Jamie Hayter.
Todd, you want to add anything to that, huh?
Please, ma'am.
Okay. All right, man.
Please.
All right, man. The winner of the match is Britt Baker. Y'all are something else.
I just shouted her out, bro. I can't give her a shout out. We shout out everybody else.
I do. You know what? You're right. My fault. I do believe at one point, there is a promo with CM Punk and Tony Schiavone.
Eddie Kingston, yeah, like he's getting interviewed by Tony Schiavone, then like Eddie Kingston starts fucking yelling, "Oh, rude as hell!" Freaking knocks the mic out of his hand, man. Like
no home etiquette whatsoever. Just knocked the mic out that man's hand. That was very rude.
Very.
I didn't like that.
Like Eddie, but that was foul.
CM Punk just look at him saying like, "I'm disappointed in you," and like there.
It's just kind of
I think you're a nerd.
I think
Oh,
CM
man.
Punk. I think you're a nerd. It's about time we bring that to the podcast.
Motherfucking superstar.
And I'm gonna end it off like this.
Oh.
My God. So yeah, maybe they'll be setting up Punk, Danielson, Kingston, and Moxley. Huh? I want to see that. I want to see that. I want it right now. I need it expeditiously. All right.
You want to see Punk blowing up
I wanna
10 minutes,
see
no,
him-
5 minutes into the match?
I want to see him in them long
Breathing
boys, bro.
hard.
I want to see him in them long boys,
I
bro.
want to see him in a long boy. He needs spares with them long boys.
And up next, what Todd promised each and every one of you and each and every one of us,
Oh, fuck, I forgot about
the
this.
results and the review of TNA Victory Road 2011 for our monthly special. We've been running a podcast for a month, and we're gonna go out in style with this one, and that's perfectly fine.
The road to lockdown began that night. what a pay-per-view to be having a road for lockdown.
Is there something wrong with that, bro?
Bro, who trying to watch lockdown, man?
All right, listen.
You making valid points.
Before you get to this, when is our next anniversary?
Well, this is 5, so I assume the next one will be 10.
Yeah.
Or
We
this
watching
is
New
6.
Blood
That
Ri-
was 5.
Oh, no. Okay. We watching New Blood Rising for the next
For,
one. 'cause of
for
what y'all
10?
putting
Oh,
into it.
let's go, bro. I love New Blood Rising.
Why?
Bruh. Y'all made me sit up there and watch Victory Road. We finna watch a worse pay-per-view. I can't believe y'all made me watch that shit.
New Blood Rising better than Victory Road, bro.
New Blood Rising is not better.
Yeah, it is.
all I remember from New Blood Rising is I believe like Lance Storm has like this Canadian rules match
Yes.
against Mike Awesome.
What about
Where
that? They had that triple threat ladder match, right? With 3 count, the
It
Young
was
Dragons.
garbage.
That match
It
was
was-
hot. It was hot.
It was that whole show was garbage.
Wait, I remember something from it. Freaking Goldberg gets into a motorcycle accident.
yes.
Oh man.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes, we're watching it. That's the next pay-per-view we watch it.
All right, for our 10th podcast special, we'll watch New Blood Rising.
There we go.
Jose, I'm sorry,
Y'all can
bro.
pick, for the next anniversary, y'all can pick a good pay-per-view.
Man.
Since y'all made me watch Victory Road, that's y'all
I'm
fault.
never gonna get these hours back.
Anyway, as Todd pointed out, the road to lockdown begins. We're welcomed by Mike Tenay and Taz.
I'm so glad that the Taz that we have now isn't the Taz that we had in TNA, man, because he was washed.
Honestly,
he was washed.
Honestly, watching this show, I think Jose even said it during the show, like, it's not the same without Don West, man. We need
It's
Don
not.
West. The show gets kicked off with Bully Ray coming out, talking about how Hulk Hogan and Bischoff are going to take TNA to the top. Boy, was he wrong.
Nigga was like 2 years late.
And then his opponent comes out. His opponent's Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer comes out to inform, or Bully Ray informs Tommy Dreamer that Hogan and Bischoff made their match no DQ. Bully Ray asks Dreamer, "What do you think about that, fat ass?" And Dreamer attacks him to begin the match.
I just wonder why did Tommy Dreamer was he unable to ever get like any of his own design shirts? Because he's always every single company this man is in, he is wearing the company shirt. He's not wearing his own merchandise.
The only
He is
Tommy
not-
Dreamer shirt that I know of is the one he wore in ECW where it had his face with the blood on it. That's the Innovator of Violence. That's the only time. It's in SmackDown vs. Raw 08. That's the only Tommy Dreamer shirt I even
Man,
know
he had
of.
them fucking Chinese designs on his pants. Nigga probably ain't never seen no Japanese wrestling match a day in his life.
Oh my god. So yeah, this is how we're kicking off Victory Road 2011. During the match, Team 3D's theme hits, and both of Devon's sons come out and distract.
I mentioned it when we were watching it, by the way, but like, freaking Bubble Ray had the same matches in TNA. They would do like a quick brawl. They would have a prop. It would be like, oh, and then they have to like do the whole smudge in the crowd. Oh, freaking bring it back. And like a 3D is involved.
Of course it is. Speaking of 3Ds, Devon's son's distracted Bully Ray. Devon's standing behind him. Devon and Dreamer hit the 3D into a table, and Tommy Dreamer beats Bully Ray to open TNA Victory Road 2011.
No. The match wasn't actually the worst thing.
No,
on the
it was-
card, I'd say.
It was a good opener.
okay.
Like warm the crowd up, get the crowd interested.
It's probably top 2 on the card because everything else.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's worse matches on this card. Speaking of worst matches, we got the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Title match.
Oh my god.
Sarita and Rosita against Angelina Love and Winter, otherwise known as Kaylee Burchell. There's a spot in the match.
The ending spot was.
A certain someone is holding up a belt like an axe. Just holding up a belt like an axe. Rosita rolls up Winter to win the match. And Sarita and Rosita win the tag titles. Anyone have anything they would add to that match at all?
Bro.
No. I want to get past.
Hey, God bless. God bless that women's wrestling got better.
Facts, man.
I mean,
Bless that.
this is like, it didn't make any sense though, like how bad this was, because like Impact was pretty good when it came to like women wrestling, anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they just kind of had. It was just an off night, kind of a stinker. Sarita and Rosita didn't really have many good matches in TNA as a team.
Just know Zelina Vega came. Sarita, Selena Vega came a long way.
Yeah, man.
A very long
Selena
way.
Selena Vega's awesome now, and she's Queen of the Ring, so Queen's crown.
Came a very long way, cuz.
We get footage up next of the Jarrett's honeymoon at Universal Studios. Jeff is having fun with the kids while Karen is clearly fucking annoyed with everything going on.
Jeff Jarrett is a wonderful father.
She tries to send the kids back to the
I
hotel, but
aspire
Jarrett
to be like him.
facts,
Yeah.
a family man. Imagine your wife getting mad because you're being a great father. That's wild. Yeah, she's annoyed with everything going on. She tries to send the kids back to the hotel, but Jarrett tells the kids it's time for some pizza. Kids get all excited. They go get pizza. Oh my
Hey,
God.
we used to pop for pizza when we were kids.
Matter of fact, I pop it for pizza now. If it's
Hell
good
yeah.
enough, it's good enough. And if it's free.
So, we're getting that Detroit style pizza from Pizza Hut.
Oh.
Yeah.
You
keep asking
use
this.
code
No.
450 for 10% off. No, that's a lie.
We don't want no Pizza Hut Detroit style pizza. It don't even sound good.
Speak for yourself. Pizza Hut, if you want to sponsor us. We're open for it, bro.
You're right.
I'll sell out.
We love your Detroit
We
style
love
pizza,
y'all.
Pizza
I love all. Matter of fact, I had the 19 earlier in the year, and it was cured by Pizza Hut. I was given Pizza
Did
Hut.
you just call it the 19?
I was given Pizza Hut by a friend who left it on my doorstep. I ate it, and it cured it. It cured it, Pizza Hut. So if you listen to this,
Please, Pizza Hut, if you give
Please.
me any if you allow us to advertise your thing and give me the discount, man, then like you will change my life.
you sponsor
you're
us,
a
Pizza
troll.
Hut.
Your stuff is too expensive in Canada, man. I can't get it on the.
As a greedy nigga, I ain't a fat nigga, but I'm a greedy nigga. Them cinnamon rolls, them cinnamon things y'all got going, keep them up.
Yes.
Fuck with me.
Hey, Pizza Hut, y'all sponsor us. I will get a Pizza Hut logo on my body somewhere. That's how much I mean it, yo.
I ain't doing all that, but he
You
mean
ain't got
that.
to,
Y'all feel that?
but I, will do it for the boys, for my boys,
All right,
for
my
the
bad, you
Horseman, brother. I'll do
My
it.
dog's that.
I'll do it right now. Up next, we got a nice segue. Oh man,
we really went from the Knockouts Tag Team Championship to a First Blood.
we got a first blood match, and between Hernandez and Matt Morgan. This match was not good.
This is not straight on not good at all, bro. It was not good.
I've never had like a 2-match period where like I just hated both matches as much as I hated both of these matches back to back.
Oh man, and the finish of the match is even worse as Hernandez sprays fake blood on Matt Morgan's chest, and the new referee that comes
Hernandez has a clear cut on his forehead.
in. Yep, the new referee comes in, sees it, and rings the bell, and Hernandez beats Matt Morgan with some fake blood. I just squirted all over the man's
On
chest.
his chest. It
The
didn't even
referee-
come off his forehead.
What's wild is I know the
The
referee.
referee got his ass beat by a fan.
The referee was
Yeah.
watching.
Randy.
What does that say about your company? You're like, oh, our referee is gonna get beat up by.
He saw 2 matches be ass in a row and said, "It's time to intervene, bro. I've had enough."
The fan ran in. All you see was Matt Morgan was calling for something. All you see is the ref sprint over and hit the nigga trying to climb in, and security just came out of nowhere. And then the ref
He's seen
the ref
enough.
cut like 10 minutes later, and the ref just laying down.
I got a
He got beat up
confession,
by
bro.
the
It was
fans.
me. It was me. I had enough. I ran on the screen
I don't
virtually.
blame you, man. Shit sucks.
What's wild is the new referee that comes in. You know he's in the back watching the monitors. How does he know that her name? You know what, man? Whatever, bro.
The ref got his ass
When
beat by
are we
fans.
gonna introduce like the instant replay rule? Man, they need looking like NFL referees.
Oh
honestly.
man, it's awful, man.
Remember when they had like those pass interference calls and they would always like, oh, we would review it and like
And not
it will
change the
be clear.
calls.
Yeah, no, to change the call, we gotta keep the integrity of it. They be looking like that.
That shit is wild, man. Up next, we have the Ultimate X match for the TNA X Division Championship.
Thank God for the next like 2-3 matches after this, man. Cause like this pay per view would have been harder to watch.
We got the champion, the MILF Hunter, Kazarian, and he's taking on Robbie E, known as Robert Stone, with Cookie, and Jeremy Buck and Max Buck, who are the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt.
Nick Book, Matt Book.
Max Buck, bro, you're gonna be the Bucks, bro. Don't know why they would be facing each other in a match like this, but it's whatever.
Listen.
This isn't like Kazarian, Frank Castle Kazarian. This is freaking Fortune 4.
We are. He's still got long
He
hair.
came out to that horrible thing.
Still got long hair.
man.
Why were they throwing up the two and the pink one and the stink, man? That shit is
Oh,
wild.
Fortune 4.
I thought this match was gonna be good. I seen Ultimate X on. I was like, oh yeah, we got this one.
Yeah, and
Oh,
then
boy, was I wrong.
the winner and
It
still
was
X
just a-
Division champ is Kazarian. Who Kazarian honestly is one of the best Ultimate X wrestlers like ever, probably.
Shows up. He shows up for those.
He shows up and he wins almost every single one of them. In the cup, the X Cup. Oh my God, that man was carrying Team TNA, bro. He was dragging them along.
That's a match we should watch, not fucking.
Oh, we're watching New Blood Rising. You're gonna sit down and watch it, buddy.
We go back to Universal Studios. My favorite segments throughout the show that I watched, they're these. 100%. Even when I had to go back and rewatch the X Division match and the women's match, these are still my favorite segments. Universal Studios with Jeff Karen and the kids. Jeff comes back. He's got another pizza. My man's going crazy. He's getting pizza. He's getting pizza drunk. He's gonna be in a food coma. Karen's complaining about sweating and her kids eating junk food. Jeff said he has a surprise for everyone that promises Karen that she's going to get wet.
I mean, honestly, at amusement parks, like the rare times that I do go to amusement parks, man, I be feeling that too with the sweat.
Yeah, man. But at least Karen's gonna get wet, you know.
I mean, I'll be getting wet at amusement parks, man. I be sweating like Kevin Garnett.
Right before tip off, looking like Shaq, man, just sweating viciously. Up next, we got the TNA Tag Title match between Beer Money, James Storm, and Robert Roode. And they're taking on Inc. Shannon Moore and Jesse Neal. Jesse Neal has the dumbest haircut I've ever seen a man.
You mean Spartacus?
Jose pointed it out during the show. What really made the haircut worse was the black hair outlining.
It makes you look like a skunk.
To give a visual, he has a tall red mohawk. And then normally, like your hair, like the hair that's not on the mohawk that's on your head is shaved. No, he dyed it blonde, a golden blonde, so it looks like he's wearing a Spartan helmet. And then the outlines of his hairline around his head, all the way around his head, are black. So his edges are black. His hair is blonde, and he's got a big red mohawk. And he just looks fucking stupid. And pretty much after hitting the DWI on Moore, Beer Money retain the tag titles. They go to shake their hands after. Shannon Moore takes a swig of beer and spits it in their faces, leaves the ring. Jesse's like, "What the hell, Shannon?" And Shannon's just talking shit to him, and Beer Money's like, "Bro, what the fuck, bro?" And Shannon's trying to coach up Jesse Neal. You know, Shannon, ironically, at this point, it's so weird to say, is a veteran in 2011. So, trying to coach up his partner.
Inc.
Inc.
What a
Inc.
name.
Man, what a name, bro. Did you know Jesse Neal was trained by the Dudleys? Did you know he was trained by the Dudleys? Did you know
You-
the Dudleys
he-
trained Jesse Neal?
He won't let you.
And
was
he was a
gonna say,
former. He was a
yeah.
former Navy SEAL, right? Isn't that right? He was in the.
Yeah.
Or if not Navy, I know he's in the military, but I thought.
I
it
know
the
he was in the
Navy.
Navy. I don't
Yeah.
know if he was a Navy SEAL, but yeah.
Something along those
Jesse Neal.
lines.
Maybe he was just in the Navy. Maybe he wasn't a SEAL. Maybe he was just in the Navy. I don't know. Whatever. All I know is he's in the military. Up next, we got a grudge match between cold-blooded Matt Hardy.
The worst version of Matt Hardy, yeah, with the horrible dreads. Oh my god.
That was not a good decision.
It didn't look good when Jeff did it earlier, a couple years earlier, and it didn't look good when Matt did it again. He comes out with Ric Flair, which is such a weird-ass combination to be these two. And Matt will be taking on AJ Styles in a pretty decent match in terms of, I thought Matt worked being a heel really well, but AJ obviously, AJ made the
Look
match.
who in the ring with me.
AJ made the match phenomenal, no pun intended, and he made Matt look like $1 million. Matt wasn't in terrible shape. He was honestly in okay shape for Matt Hardy. He's definitely on the juice, dude. He's on the juice, man.
He was a little bit. He was kind of swole. I was like, I ain't seen Matt like this before.
AJ hits the spiral tap on Matt Hardy to win the match because AJ doesn't give a fuck about his back. Flair's going nuts after the match, and Styles goes over to him and gives him a big ass low blow at ringside.
Ric Flair sold late as hell.
Ric Flair sold it late, and he just starts screaming. AJ just keeps walking back to the stage, and it takes Matt and Ric Flair literally probably 10 minutes to get out of the ring and up the ramp. Like, they took so long, an uncomfortable amount of time to get backstage.
I think it was a reason for that.
I wonder why. We got the final segment of the honeymoon with Jeff, Karen, and the kids. Karen's complaining that this is a family vacation, not a honeymoon. Karen says Jeff knows what's missing, and Jeff says he does, and it's Kurt. He says on Thursday he's going to.
Some of the kids were actually Kurt's kids, wasn't? Weren't
yes,
they?
because they're also Karens, so you gotta think about that. And speaking of Kurt, that man, he just keeps having kids nowadays, don't he, bro? That man does not give a fuck, bro. Kurt he's a sniper, pinpoint.
Fun fact about this pay-per-view, by the way, Kurt Angle is on the cover of it, and he was not even remotely close to being involved
At
with
all.
anything.
This is the closest he is. His name is said, and that's it. He says on Thursday he's going to make a truce with Kurt and put their drama behind them. I think that's a shoot.
One of the worst angles you will ever see in wrestling.
That definitely
Why
had to
was
be a
that
shoot.
thing?
Karen can't believe it and asks where the kids are, who run over as they're getting all soaked from the water being dumped on them all. Yeah, and that's the final segment for that. A little fun thing. And up next is literally the most. It's pulling teeth. Borderline pulling teeth. Number one contenders match for the TNA Championship between Mr. Anderson and RVD. They have the longest fucking
Shit, I
promo.
forgot about that.
The longest promo leading up to this match for no apparent reason at all. There's nothing about this promo that's going to sell this match.
So everyone here in the podcast knows that RVD is my goat. But man, TNA RVD, man, I try to forget, man. That's a wash king. That's Hakeem Olajuwon on the Raptors.
Patrick Ewing on the Magic, man.
Yeah,
Joe Montana on the Chiefs, bro.
I try not to think about it too often, man. And the second run of TNA, we don't talk about. We don't talk about that one either.
What's crazy is during this run, this man lost like one match total his entire time here.
They weirdly pushed him on like his first match back. He wins the TNA title from AJ Styles. Who at that point, like, it was the first time that he had the TNA World title, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And like he had a long ass reign. He was a new Nature Boy, and they just RVD comes in 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
Simple,
Like,
plain and
nothing.
simple.
So pointless. It was stupid.
I thought it was great.
I hate.
So yeah,
man,
they have this long ass, boring ass promo. They both come out. The match ends in a double countout after Mr. Anderson hits RVD with a mic check on the ramp.
And gotta love. I remember this particular, like, when we were watching it, like, it didn't happen, but I because TNA obviously edited it out. But with the crowd, right? Like when they realize it's a double count out, like some people are chanting like restart the match, but then sane people in the crowd were saying no. What the fuck?
Taz says they'll have a rematch Thursday.
Pray for them.
Shad gives the editor's note, says he did some research, and on the March 17th episode, they did a 4-way match with Bully Ray and Styles added to it, and it ended in a no contest, because classic TNA. We are wrestling. No, that's Bischoff and Hogan. I don't know what the fuck they got going on.
How do you have a no contest in a fatal 4-way, man? I didn't even think that was possible.
Quadruple count out, nigga. Keep it moving.
Shameless, man. And unfortunately, up next is the real reason why Todd wanted to watch Victory Road 2011.
Fall for this, Todd.
Oh man, this is very, very sad. The main event time: TNA World Heavyweight Championship between Sting and Jeff Hardy. Unfortunately,
this is a significant moment in wrestling history. Why? Because it showed to us that TNA was willing to allow anything to happen. They had,
they didn't care.
In hindsight, like, oh, Kurt Angle being on Percocets, that was bad too. They were willing to allow anything, but the fact that they let Jeff Hardy go out there, like, I don't even care if the match lasted like 10 seconds. Like, they let this man. They couldn't even find this man for most of it. Like, the story goes that like they couldn't even figure out if he was gonna show up.
Yeah, they didn't.
He shows
the
up,
story
clearly
goes,
not able to.
Yeah, it goes like they couldn't find him till his theme right before the match. Like his theme started playing, and he just comes up. And clearly there's something wrong with him. As soon as he comes up the ramp, you know there's something wrong with him.
Nigga was stumbling, man.
I need a Dark Side of the Ring episode on this.
Man,
I really do. That would be a good one, actually.
Jeremy Borash is doing the ring introductions, unfortunately, and not David Pinzer. Nothing against Jeremy Borash. I don't mind the guy as a personality announcer, like for like Gene Okerlund type stuff. Not my favorite ring announcer though. So he's doing the introductions for the wrestlers. Jeff Hardy takes probably 10 minutes to throw his shirt into the crowd. He's high-fiving fans outside the ring. He's not even in the ring.
As a heel.
The Antichrist of TNA.
It was so painful to watch. Bischoff comes out, says there's a slight change of plans, and the network is getting involved. Bischoff is pretty much telling Sting what to do. He extends his hand to Sting.
Insider info.
Insider info.
We know what he's really saying. He says to him that, give him the death drop in the match, shoot, pin him. Maybe that's what he's saying. He's saying something along those lines, and then he says, slap me, and then he slaps Bischoff. It'll be no DQ match. He wasn't able to prepare for this match on March 3rd. Sting decks him. The bell rings. Sting pulls Jeff by his hair, hits him with a Scorpion Death Drop, and pins him to become the new TNA World Champion.
How you gonna forget the important details of Steve just staring at this nigga Jeff Hardy, waving the shirt around, walking around the ring for 5 minutes, just staring at
Yeah,
him.
man.
Sting had the energy of a disappointed dad.
Sting was not happy.
Disappointed too, man.
The fans were chanting bullshit as Sting left with the belt. Sting said, I agree. As he walked backstage, he kept saying, I agree. I agree.
Oh my god. Sting had used like the last years of his like prime Sting on TNA, and when it was cooked, when it was washed. I feel bad. I feel bad for. Listen, luckily he's in better days now.
And we can say the same for Jeff too.
Yeah.
Luckily, Jeff's in better days than he was then. And really, just TNA when it was a company, as a company. I say when it was because it's not TNA; it's Impact now. Bringing in Hogan and Bischoff was the absolute worst possible thing Dixie Carter could have ever done in her life. As a matter of fact, Jeff Jarrett selling that company to Dixie Carter is the worst thing, or Dixie Carter's family is the worst thing that he could have done. But at the same time, Jeff didn't have the money to put them on national television on Spike. He needed to do something for his company. He wanted to put them on a map.
I'm kind of surprised of like how bad the event was outside of the Jeff Hardy stuff.
Oh, that shit was garbage.
It was really bad, man.
That's not good wrestling.
It's not the worst. It's not the worst show I've seen, and I can pretty much.
New Blood Rising is the worst one. We're watching
That's
that.
not the worst show I've ever seen.
New Blood Rising is
The
awful,
worst one
man.
I've seen, and like I
Bro,
can come off
I've
of the
watched
top of my head.
Diesel and Mabel.
Yeah, 1996 Raw.
Just SummerSlam. I've seen worse than new.
Actually, you're right. WWE's had some some bad pay-per-views back in the
Battleground
day.
in like 2017.
The worst
Like
if you want to bore me, you want to have those classic Nitro matches, those classic WCW pay-per-view matches where it's 30 minutes of just like not even good, cool, entertaining technical wrestling, but like just fucking just the slowest match you can put together. Like two dudes that clearly don't have the energy to go 30, but they have to stretch it to 30. Headlocks for 10 minutes. You go on a commercial break, come back, he's still in the headlock. You know, you Buff Bagwell and Johnny B. Bad. You know, you want to hurt me. You have to. It has to be a slow paced, boring ass match, man. That's.
you're mentioning Johnny B. Bad without doing no.
Woo! He's a wild man, Mark Marrow. Shout out Mark Marrow, man. But yeah, that is Victory Road 2011 results, and I figured I would save this for last because this would be more of an in-depth conversation to have. We had the unfortunate news of we're supposed to start out with this, but I made an audible, call me Peyton Manning, and wanted to put it for last. Shad had in our editor notes, shout out Shad, to do it first, but I figured I would do it last because I didn't want to end on the Jeff Hardy thing because this is really just kind of sad. Not that this isn't sad, but ROH is revamping and essentially came out and announced on social medias. I saw it on Twitter that Sinclair Broadcasting is shutting down Ring of Honor to reevaluate business, and in December, at the end of December, pretty much for 2020, everyone is released. There are some people that will still be under contract in March. They will still get paid throughout March. But essentially their entire roster will be released, and they're going to reevaluate business. Will they come back? We don't know. It did come out that the parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, has over $12 billion worth of debt. So
that ain't good. That ain't good at all.
We're not really sure what's happening. We do know that they're one of the companies, if not the main company in America, that took the pandemic very seriously. They didn't do any shows. They paid their wrestlers to sit at home, and essentially it screwed them. It affected them big time. That and being on my local 5 channel at midnight.
My 68, nigga, 11 o'clock.
When you are a broadcast group that has channels and you're putting them on stuff like that, how do you expect to make some money? Jose, you're gonna say something?
No, it's just it's sad. It's very sad what's going on. But I think they're coming. They had said that they were coming. They're coming back around April of next year. Super Card of Honor, I think. But,
yeah, and it's gonna be their first live show, right?
Yeah. So let's see. I mean, Ring of Honor really opened the doors for me as far as independent wrestling.
Same,
So,
and yeah, I have to say.
Go ahead.
I think even like when WWE and TNA were really bad, like 2011, I'm pretty sure you like recommended Ring of Honor to me. So you kind of showed me what Ring of Honor was too. So that's pretty much me learning about Ring of Honor and indies and stuff like that. So at that point, which is, I don't know, it's just Ring of Honor is just one of those companies you always, they're not the top company. At one point, they were one of the most fun companies to watch for me, at least before AEW was around, stuff like that.
They were basically like NXT before NXT, like all the indie like alternative shit. Like Impact Wrestling is pissing me off because like it's being booked weirdly. WWE is pissing me off because like I don't like John Cena or like some of the stuff that they're doing. Like Ring of Honor was always like, okay, I want to see good wrestling. I want to see something that like make me happy to watch. Like I'll watch Ring of Honor.
Yeah, man, and
I don't think this is the end of them, but I'm
Yeah, I hope
I'm
not.
sad that I'm sad that it seems like it's going in like a very very lower direction. But I think it could survive. It could be like a GCW kind of thing.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to get if ROH's parent owner company Sinclair Broadcasting Group doesn't sell them, I don't know that it's just Ring of Honor has so many Jesus has so many competitors that are synonymous with Ring of Honor right now. Guys that have been long-time Ring of Honors, if not Ring of Honor lifers. It's gonna be so weird seeing them in other promotions. You have Jay Lethal, you have the Briscoes, just name a couple people. Flip Gordon, Dalton Castle, guys like that. There's guys that they should get these opportunities with other companies, and they probably will have these opportunities that they didn't have when they were still under contract with Ring of Honor. But Sports Illustrated says here that they pretty much are saying that Sinclair mishandling that was the demise of Ring of Honor. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think that they're going to be dead. But I do kind of agree with them in some sense that they definitely did mess up a lot. They didn't promote the company probably like they could have and should have as a broadcasting company. I definitely think that you could have done something there. They had a Zoom call with the COO of Ring of Honor, Joe Koff. Included everyone being released from their contract, like we'd stated. Not everyone from the roster, however, was on the call, which left multiple people, including some top talent, unaware of the massive change. Sports Illustrated confirmed from multiple sources that contracts expiring on or before March 31st, 2022 will be paid out for the duration of the deal. So it's kind of like the AOL thing with WCW, I guess, in a way. So you could get all your money and sit at home and do nothing, or you could get your money and go get more work. Is what it looks like. That's how it's going to be. Contracts is going to be on March 31st. I guess they're going to have some type of buyout between the talent and Sinclair. Just to give like a quick idea, for anyone, obviously everyone listening probably has seen Ring of Honor. Their first ever show was the Era of Honor Begins, took place February 2002. They had some of the indie darlings, or people that you may have seen in WWE. They had CM Punk, Samoa Joe, Bryan Danielson, Nigel McGuinness. Those were like, the main guys. Obviously, 2011, Sinclair purchased them. They were to get a lot more talent. And then all their talent just kind of went elite, if you will.
Hey, man.
But who would have thought? Who would have thought? Just real quick, who would have thought Impact outlasting Ring of Honor? I would have never thought that. Never.
Niggas ain't snatching Impact talent up like that. That's probably why.
Yeah, WWE and AEW full of ROH trained and bred.
Listen, Ring of Honor got dead dirty by everybody too.
Yeah, man.
Nobody helped them niggas. They left them niggas out to die.
Marty Skrull getting Me Too did not help them.
Yeah, didn't help. Fucking New Japan didn't help them. They were taking talent. The AEW came and that bitch took talent. WWE took talent. WWE even working with them though, but still, you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be, this time around, I think instead of WWE and AEW benefiting from the talent, I think it's going to be Impact, MLW. They're going to benefit from the wealth talent that's just free agents all of a sudden. I think it's going to be the companies under the bigger companies that are going to get a lot of those talents that will help them out, which would be nice. As they should. It'll be flooded. We're going to have a flooded market again, just like the WWE releases last year. Not quite as many tier talented guys, but there's guys. I mean, like I said, Jay Lethal, the Briscoes. That's 3 huge signings for. If MLW or Impact get them exclusively, that's huge signings for them. I don't know if it'll happen, but still, nonetheless.
Niggas didn't help themselves either, and fucking booking niggas from other companies with their big belts. But
Bully Ray, remember when Enzo and Cass randomly started a brawl at the biggest show that they've ever had? Like freaking the Tongas winning their
Madison
tag
Square
team
Garden.
titles in like
Oh man,
treating it like Joe.
Bullet Club, Bullet Club did Ring of Honor so
Tama Tonga
wrong.
said, "Fuck this belt. I don't give a fuck
He
about this
threw
belt."
their belt. He shitted on their belt. Cody Rhodes had a horrible title reign too with the belt.
But he didn't shit on the belt. They just
He
reign
ain't
just
shit
wasn't
on
good.
the belt. This shit
Waited
was ass,
waited
bro.
long to give the title, like the world title, to people who are over. So by the time they win the title, like nobody really cares all that
Yeah,
much.
man. Bullet Club.
Dalton Castle.
Yeah.
Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles never held it.
Bullet Club brought eyes to them niggas, but then they, you know, they weren't putting talent over. They were winning belts. That's Ring of Honor booking fault. And
Yeah,
then
and
it
like
went to shit, man.
like Jose said, it's unfortunate, but they do anticipate returning to live events in April with Supercard of Honor with a new fan-focused product and provide a unique experience for wrestling fans. They want to go back to their roots of
The heyday.
yes,
They're back to their
finding
heyday.
these guys and you're going, who the hell is this guy? And then this guy wowing you in a match.
Another thing they don't get credit for is introducing niggas to Japanese wrestlers.
Yeah, their partnership with Noah, right? I believe.
The only niggas that actually gave them benefits.
It'll be interesting to see. I do hope they come back. I don't want Ring of Honor to die. I've always had fond memories of Ring of Honor. It says here on this Sports Illustrated article that for years, Ring of Honor offered a savings or zero net loss to Sinclair. The company will likely explain its new business model on an inability to recover from the pandemic. But the truth is that the product was stale and shows weren't able to sell tickets. Yeah, that sounds about right. Especially, it's as much as Adam Cole and them guys helped you, it was hard losing those guys. It was hard losing all the talent they lost one by one. They all got plucked away.
Niggas, they dipped on them. They ran through them niggas and built their popularity up, and they didn't even pay them niggas back with that. It was crazy.
It's
just sad to see. You hate to see it, bro. It was really tough to see.
The ROH
people don't talk about it enough.
Something that's kind of crazy. The ROH tape library is also available and will go to the highest bidder. ROH has been privately trying to move the library. The Sinclair owns archive from 2012 to now.
Oh, Tony Khan finna fucking
for more than a year. That includes the All In pay-per-view from September 2018, which was a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, which was the precursor to AEW. While AEW owns a trademark, ROH owns that footage. Sports Illustrated learned that the company is asking for much more than the current market dictates, and once it seems like WWE would be a major factor in the pursuit of the tape library, it seems that it's going to make less sense now, considering that so many former ROH stars have exited WWE. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens there. First thing that came to my head was WWE putting ROH's library on Peacock. That'd make so much sense.
Tony Khan buying that bitch, bro. You might as well get going, Tony Khan.
But see, what can he do with it though? Was he gonna put on Fight TV? I mean, he doesn't have his own. They don't have their own network. They really should. Yeah. They really should have their own. We should not be paying $60 for pay-per-views still.
It's nasty work.
But I'm sure eventually time will make it happen. But yeah, Ring of Honor news. Really sad. Hope they figure it out. Hope the wrestlers figure out where they want to go. I hope Jay Lethal finally gets the mainstream exposure that he deserves. I hope that Jay Briscoe does as well.
No, for many people who haven't watched ROH, their idea of Jay Lethal is probably the Black Machismo. That's still wild to me.
Yeah, or his Ric Flair impressions.
Yeah.
He is a very accomplished wrestler in Ring of Honor. And when he and Jay Briscoe were feuding, me and Jose, like the whole year, me and Jose were just like we were just gawking over just how good Jay Lethal was being as his heel. He was honestly like Ric Flair as a heel. Like that's how good he was. And he had Truth Martini, and they were in the House of Truth. And that my favorite Ring of Honor match is Jay and Jay at Best in the World in June when Jay Briscoe had the belt for over a year, I believe, right? He was champion
Yeah,
for
that
a year.
was a long title reign.
Yeah, he hadn't lost for a year. Jay Lethal was the TV champion. I almost said TNT TV champion, which a lot of good wrestlers have actually held that belt, believe it or not. And yeah, it was just even in 2016, they still had good stuff. Obviously, you think of like the guys that went, anyone you can think of that is a good wrestler now or is on TV now has been Roderick Strong, Austin Aries, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, like we said. A lot of people don't even know about Nigel McGuinness. It's crazy.
The nigga got hurt.
Adam Pearce. He's on TV every single week in WWE. He was in Ring of Honor. Obviously, Adam Cole. The Kingdom. Just the Kingdom. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, you need to learn. Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, or Mike Kanellis, some people may know him as. Matt Taven, Maria, Adam Cole. So good. And the Ring of Honor's theme songs were always good too. They had Red Dragon. I mean, I could sit here all day and talk about how good the Ring of Honor talent was. It could go on for days,
But that's another day.
yeah.
Nigga
In fact,
got left out the drive, man. Just
the pandemic obviously has hurt everyone. It has been awful, and it's sad to see. They're releasing the whole roster. It hasn't been done in, well, I guess since WCW, right? And ECW when they fell out.
Yeah.
Just like a massive load of super popular talent. At least off the top of my head, I don't think it has. I don't think TNA did they have a massive I don't think everyone got released at once. I think it was kind of within a couple years of each other. But it's unfortunate. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen. The Briscoes they could appear in AEW. I think they did a good. I like to see them in Japan. I think that'd be fun in Japan. And that's
please, everybody don't sign to AEW. Spare me, nigga. There's other places, man.
Yeah, please don't get stuck on Dark and Dark Elevation.
Niggas already fighting for TV time, bro.
It's
Please,
such a talented
bro.
roster, and there's only so much you can display.
Man. There's other places.
With that, I think it's perfect time. Does anyone else have anything to add about Ring of Honor, Jose?
Not Ring of Honor. I have a closing remark. You can
Sure, go for it.
get...
We'll knock into the closing remarks.
All right. I want to wish a happy birthday to rap legend Nav.
No way. No way.
What the fuck?
It's Nav's 32nd birthday today, and I'm wishing him
32?
Yeah.
No way.
Nav is 32.
Anyway.
No way he's 32.
Anyway. Jose, closing remarks for you, my good sir?
Since the G1 has come to a close, and wrestling's kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's gonna pick it up. It's gonna pick up, especially with the Full Gear coming up, Power Struggle, and some other shows that are coming out this month. So
and
I'm not too worried.
I do believe we have been discussing the idea for future podcasts for you to do exclusive New Japan recaps. So
Yeah,
Nigga be doing road 2 shows, hurting himself. I pray for you.
Just good takes, just the brief summary, I guess, of the Road 2 shows, because I better,
pretty much keeping everybody in the loop of what's going on after G1.
Sure. I think the road shows are very important for whatever storyline based in New Japan. So it's always important to watch those shows to me.
Yes, I agree. 566.
Go Braves!
Oh,
we
yeah.
won it. We won.
Yes.
Hey, nigga, is it your turn? It ain't
The
your
Braves
turn.
did
no more.
win.
You should have matter. I'm a world
He
champion.
should have fit that in when it was his turn. Now it's my turn.
We did it. We fucking did it.
Shout out the Braves.
It's my turn.
Shout out the Braves.
My turn. He said 566. It's my turn.
Shout out Braves.
Now, we hope John Moxley recovers well.
Yes.
He went into rehab.
Yes.
Very strong. in
Prayers
him.
to
We
Johnny,
hope he
beautiful man.
come back
I got
well.
your book. Pre-ordered it. I got it yesterday. Haven't got to
Yeah.
read it yet, but I'm excited. You beautiful,
By John Moxley's book.
you beautiful local
Read it.
native legend.
We seen the leaks of it. It's very good. We hope he's well. It's sad to see. At least he realized he has a problem and he's man enough to go out and solve it. Many people don't have the balls to do that
Yes.
No.
and admit it to the world at that. And what else I got to say? Oh yeah, go Braves! Won the World Series.
Gonna steal Jose's thunder like that.
Fuck him. He said it during his turn.
Yeah.
It was crazy. That just quickly, it's just like just one of those pops in life. It's when the best wrestling pop, but this was like times a million. That was just
Yeah.
crazy.
Me and
crazy.
Todd can attest for the feeling in different sports, but it's a high that you will ride for a while. You'll probably maybe do it today, maybe you do it in 6 months, maybe you do it in a year, maybe you do it every 3. You're gonna go back, you're gonna watch the moment over and over, and it's only gonna.
I'll watch that Jorge Soler home run about 20 times a day.
It's only gonna be happier, for the with the Cavs winning in 2016, the first 6 months. I don't know how we got in
Well, I
sports
watched
into
those
this.
last
We
10
really got into
You-
sports on this
you
podcast.
you will watch the highlights over it over and over and over again.
And
I've
That's
watched
all
the
good.
last 10 minutes of that game about 100 times.
If I just have to hear Cleveland is the city of champions, and it just goosebumps. It's it's everyone usually gets one in their lifetime. So if they're lucky,
It's
and
kind of wild.
maybe or just see their team go, maybe not win, just at least see and to win it is great.
I want them when the Falcons gonna get there.
Oh man. And then to give
We won't get into that,
no
man.
man, I can't believe Todd used his closing statements on Nav. So for me and for the other boys, I would just say really quickly to piggyback on what 566 said. I was going to mention this, but I'll go ahead and piggyback on what he said.
You can't piggyback. Pick your own lane.
John Moxley, getting help. Anyone listening, if you feel like that you need help or something is wrong, texting someone, calling someone. If you feel like that makes you weak, it doesn't. It's actually the best thing you can do. I think that admitting that you need help is the best course of action that you can take. Personally, I'm a person that doesn't like to ask people for help in any matter of life. So being able to admit and take a step like that you need help for your mental health, for your mental safety, for any addictions you may have is important. And I believe that you are a better person for doing it, and you're very strong and courageous for doing so. Just to add on to the Moxley thing there, and to anyone else listening that may be going through something. But other than that, get ready for episode 777. Dustin Rhodes. You'll never forget the name. You'll never forget the name Dustin Rhodes.
And happy birthday, Nav.